from those dual cores. And again, the only thing that they're going to be too terrified of long range is maybe a blink stun from the DK, which is very likely to be the build here for Chessie, this kind of old DK style of, I don't know, I just locked down a core, right, and pushed the safe lane tower. But, you know, Monkey King not going to force out a BKB. Ember probably not going to force out a BKB. So it's good poke in terms of doing damage, but not really for getting commitments. And even then, how do you fight around this? How do you fight around the threat of this Ravage until you have your own BKBs? It does seem like a pretty constant threat. Sure, Ember can evade it, and DK can tank through it, but Monkey King is going to be kind of left high and dry, especially if he's not inside of his Wukong's arena.
Yeah, indeed. I want to touch on a point that we talked about earlier, which is the Tusk for Stamanen, and they're actually playing Tusk on Stamanen, which now I'm interested in is that's just them swapping positions, and Rammus will be playing the 5 here, or at least in the 5 lane, or if they were going to commit to the 5 Tusk, which, to my memory, the only 5 Tusk I remember that like does it consistently is Kuroki. A while back, I don't think he's been a while since he's played that. You know, he's been experimenting with drafts a little bit, and it's not the most common pick, but it's played a bit differently than the 4 Tusk. Instead of you being a main initiator and the idea of you bursting down the support, it's more along the ideas of you having the save with a snowball and always being ready to make sure a teammate can be sent back, which is not bad. And with the Ags build that I've been seeing on some Tusk these days, because now it's much better.
It is. It's much easier, right?
Maybe. Yes, it's much easier, yeah. Which easier is better in Dota, let's be honest. Dota's a really complex game. Your brain is fried most of the time, so the easier you can make your draft, the better.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Oh, they're running a... Ooh, okay. Alliance. Now you can tell... Can you tell Lotus coaching now? Because they're running a triangle.
They are, right?
Like,
they swapped the lanes.
DI3 just worked all the time, I swear. But, you know, really good trialing. Weaver plus Tusk, incredible physical damage. Luna's not bad with these two either, especially with the Lunar Blessing. You actually probably have one of the strongest trialings I can think of right now. Not bad at all. Not the most kill potential, but incredible harassment potential, and leaves very little for a Monkey King to do, who's supposed to win the lane.
And ITB, they know this is the tri-lane. They're like, yep, this is Alliance, this is a tri-lane. So they actually TP Tanner up immediately. They're going to be totally fine with that farming lane down bottom, Tidehunter versus DK. We'll go ahead and show it for now just so you can see what it looks like. Eventually it's going to be Breathe Fire, Anchor Smash, they clear waves, and then they try and push each other's towers. That's going to be basically about it. No one should die down here.
It's the most boring lane in Dota. But Aramis in the top lane is dying, though, as ITB's rotation works well, and Aramis misjudged the amount of damage that ITB had. There's not like they used any particular stuns. I mean, obviously the Bushwhack, but that was it. J4 doesn't even have a skill level.
Wow.
They just caught him with Shukuchi on cooldown, and Weaver's very vulnerable at level 1. 15 seconds of Shukuchi, that's a big deal. That was the last nerf Weaver received, and the reason why Weaver is not the top meta pick right now.
Extra 3-second cooldown is quite painful, especially in a lane.
It is.
During the laning stage, where that's a whole 10th of a creep wave. I like to think about things in creep waves, not the team, but kind of in that 30-second window.
And now, since we're at tri-lane, I can unlock this lockbox of analysis I had saved for years that I never got to say. So the tri-lane, for those of you who never lived this meta, the most important thing for a tri-lane is heroes have a really strong level 1, right? So while the synergy between Tusk and Weaver is really good, and we gotta accept that, the level 1 for these heroes is not as powerful as Into the Breach, particularly for Weavers, with that Shukuchi nerf. So even though this tri-lane in theory should be good, it might create some problems because there's not enough experience to go around for these supports.
Yeah.
We'll see how they try to solve this. Maybe they go jungle, maybe they pull more often, but it is going to be a problem for the first few levels.
Well, plus you have Ench, right? I mean, look, she was just running around with a Centaur for crying out loud. How do you deal with that? Because then she's able to have impact in lane. If you do damage to it and you trade with it, it's even worse. And Ench can be out of experience range while still having impact in the lane. What do you do against that? How is that an efficient trade?
It is a tough one, honestly. I don't know how you deal with Yench in this lane. I mean, I understand. Once you get level 3, you have like insane kill potential with Tag Team level 2 and Swarm. So I think that's what we're going to play around. Well, for now, ITV seems pretty confident in this lane.
That's true, but usually for me, Tag Team is very much a level 3 let's go ability. And in a tri-lane,
that's what I mean.
It's delayed, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's going to be difficult for them, and that's why right now it's really the go time. They find J4, who takes 1 point into attendance, save for the stun for a second, but J4 has nowhere to go as he's stuck in between the trees, and unfortunately, level 1 Boundless Strike can only do so much. Nature's Attendance against 3, not as powerful, because obviously you just can't out-heal as much burst damage.
Yeah, we'll see if that ends up making a really big difference. I'm still not opposed to it, because having some heal in a tri-lane I think is very valuable. For just kind of the general skirmishing, the amount of skirmishing that goes on. But that might still be maybe not a mistake, but the less efficient skill point to have taken. We'll see as the lane continues to play out. It's too early to say.
I mean, it's also the fact that Impetus is just kind of bad in a similar situation, right? Because you like harass one person and then the other person just kind of, they take turns and they attack you in turns, and all of a sudden you feel like you've wasted all your mana and you're not doing enough, right? So I kind of understand that nature's attendance. It's not so much, hey, I want to be able to do something with a skill, but rather, what else can I grab, right? If he wants to max Impetus, honestly, on support Enchantress, not that big a deal. You kind of want to max Enchant instead. So I think this is a fine build.
Yeah, plus J4's got the ability to, of course, jungle fairly efficiently, even better than most heroes, to be honest.
Tanner, though, in trouble. Oh, the Bushwhack might save him. Stomanen, they hit him with a Boundless Strike, and that's going to be Stomanen going down. Fake Gamer does have that Swarm on him. That's Bill, by the way. I don't know why he's officially
yeah, I was going to say.
and yeah, he ends up going down for that play. Not really worth it for him. He does get a kill in the process. I guess since you're 2, the kill's a little bit more worthwhile than if you're 3, but still your carry dying.
Fake Gamer. Yes, indeed. That is Bill. He's the 3rd of the 3 Britons, of the 3 UK players. I'm not sure what
the 3 Britons.
The 3 Britons, what the right word is. Thank you for correcting me. The 3 Britons that are going to be trying to take it home. I think this is one of the first times they've had this many Britons on the team.
My bad. So you mean Britons like B-R-I-T-T-O-N-S, right? Like the ethnicity?
I'm not sure.
I thought you meant the island for a second.
Oh, I was trying to refer to the island.
Boundless Strike hits 3, by the way. Fake Gamer's capable of getting away. Enchantress just here is like, hey, are you hitting my carry? I have Enchant level 2 now. No way you're fighting this Enchantress any longer. Yeah, I don't know if they're, maybe one of them is Northern Irish. I actually don't know. So technically they're not.
Okay.
From
Britain, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not up to the date.
I don't know where Bill is from. I know Tanner and Ads are both from the south, I believe. I want to say the south.
Okay. Didn't know that.
I think there's more Dota in the south. When I lived in Scotland, I say Dota, and people kept thinking that was a whiskey. And I was like, that's...
No, it's not.
And then they asked, can it be a whiskey, though? And well, I mean, you know.
It does make me want to drink sometimes, because during my extended gaming sessions, it's important to stay hydrated with some H2O, guys. Don't forget.
Yes, which is what whiskey does not give you. Don't ever drink booze if you want to hydrate. It does the opposite.
ADZ right. Might be in for a bit of a rough time here as the power runes will spawn. Ermos picking up that arcane rune, so both mid laners denied the power rune refill. Checking in on this mid lane, though, because we've spoken very much about the tri-lane. Of course, lots of action, quite naturally, right? But it seems like that now that's starting to settle a little bit. WEU's doing pretty well in this mid lane. 39 and 9 denies, I think, is going to be the biggest difference maker here. Of course, Ember and Windrunner both able to farm the side camps very effectively, and you know, they'll be able to recover quickly. It's taking a death top lane of Ermos yet again. Stomanen with some good shards. Again, great Tusk player, this guy. He's going to be able to evade death. And it seems like he is the position 4, by the way. Well, is he? Yeah.
Why do you say that? Because the items? I don't... I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's too early.
What makes you a position 4? Right? This is a good time, actually, to talk about this new theory I've been going around in the pro circle. This J4, by the way, gets found by a Wind Ranger. There's no Javelin just yet, so multi-shot doesn't quite do that much damage to attack team. There we go. That's going to be enough. Yeah, so if you've been listening to the educational Dota media, right? You know, the Jenkins, the DreamLeagues and stuff. There's been this new, I guess, theory or idea that's been kind of going around that positions don't matter anymore. Positionless Dota, right? It's more about the role that you play in the game. So when we talk about position 4 or 5, does it really matter anymore? Honestly, neither is going to get any priority to farm, and it's more the roles they want to serve here. Weaver most likely going to be the split pusher or the lane shover to a degree. That's what Weaver does best, and Tusk most likely going to be the one tanking smokes. Traditionally in 7.30, that was Tusk being the 5 and Weaver being the 4, because that's what the roles were. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. Weaver will just find more farm naturally because he is, going to be taking more dangerous farm and he can open up the map, whereas Tusk is most likely going to die more often. We'll see if that's the case, though. That's usually how these heroes are played.
Yeah, I'm surprised Weaver, I guess Weaver just dropping a ward down bottom just to make it a little bit safer here for Tide to continue farming. Well, I say that, but now actually WEU's going to rotate down bottom. They're going to try for a kill into Chessie.
Javelin's up for WEU, so that means they have a chance for Chessie, but Chessie, he knows.
He knows. He sees Nico Baby taking farm in the mid lane, and he goes, something's not right there. Nico Baby has been missing off the map for at least 30 seconds, which is he's probably from the triangle. That being said, the Shackle's still going to end up finding Chessa here. He gets off Elder Dragon form for a quick stun onto WEU, as he will escape underneath his tier 1 tower. Javelin proc's not going to be heavy enough, as TP's incoming now. WEU trying to maybe predict that tree jump is going to be unsuccessful. Rooted down now by ADZ as the Ravage is going to catch 4. Great ice shards as well, but it looks like the Tornado pushing back WEU to his death, as Tanner will pick up the kill onto him and the second onto Stomanen. Oh no, this fight breaking down here for Alliance, as even with the Ravage catching multiple heroes, they will still retreat with 3 heroes dead.
Okay, ITB, I mean, there was a bit of frustration there by WEU, honestly, of not getting the DK kill, which I think is the biggest play a DK player can make, you know, the psychological play of knowing you won't ever die. He took the 3 points in Dragon's Blood, quite efficient. The Brief Fire actually dealt a fair amount of damage as a result, because he could take more points in that, so they could counter-initiate properly. But beating the Ravage there is the most important part, right? If we had just died there solo, it's whatever, but now you come in the Ravage, you also lose the Tidehunter in the process, now the tower, because there's an enchant from the enemy team. It's quite a big win for ITB, as they fight before the enemy team reaches any other power spikes, really. Ravage should be a small power spike, but usually it's done near your objectives, near your towers, not so far off, and they couldn't really defend there. As Chessy goes and roleplays Senking, goes to the top lane, tries to defend this tower, realizes he's not Senking, so now he has to retreat immediately, because there's no way for him to survive this solo, which is why the TP is going to help. Beautiful push back. They go for the Weaver first, but Aramis is capable of making it out of there alive. As J4 slows on Stomanen, they're going to go for the easy kill. They break the Tide instead. Snowball carries them to the creeps. Stomanen low on HP, so is the Tide, but actually, they're both half HP. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to die here.
They're going to be okay, but the important part is tower defended tier 1 top lane for ITB, whereas Alliance commit 4 heroes without the Ravage. ITB, like you were talking about, without the Ravage near the objective to fight around, they find themselves unable to really force the objective, so they're going to have to come back, probably with Ravage in tow, and make an effort for that. But in the meantime, it's a lot of space here for the cores of ITB to be farming. ADZ has his own Javelin now online alongside the Orb of Corrosion. He's going to be using that for some very efficient poke and harass. What have we got here for Fake Gamer? For Bill, seems to be going into the Desolator first item for him.
What do you think makes him a fake gamer? What do you think he calls himself that? Is it because he's like low Lamar? Does he have friends? Like what?
It could be the friends, because it's certainly not the amount of games he plays or the lack thereof. Right, level 30 Monkey King. My goodness.
Oh yeah, okay, he's a real gamer. They found the WEU, by the way, in the middle lane. Hit him, broke him, but they lack the damage. But DK, it's not enough. There we go. It's gonna be the last kill with the help of Ads and Tanner. And now they realize they're just going around the tower. There is a Ravage already available, but unfortunately without WEU, you kind of lack the options to take advantage of this Ravage. So they're gonna just hang around, maybe wait for WEU. I think this tower's probably gonna fall. Catapult plus Dragon, yeah.
Catapult and Dragon. It's one of the better combos in the game for sure. But that is going to be now 2 tier 1 towers down, and not really much in response here from Alliance. Nico Baby, it seems like the plan for them this game is that he's going to be building as this late game win condition. He's going for the max farming build, only 1 point in the Lucent Beam with the Mask of Madness, as they will find J4 at the very least, and that'll get Nico Baby a little bit of extra bonus bounty alongside WEU. But once WEU gets this Maelstrom up, I think he's going to be a lot scarier. With the Javelin alone, he's not bad at poking and taking down these heroes, but seems like right now the longer distance poke and prod that ITB has is proving to be superior.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ads, particularly because he had a relatively easy mid lane. I think the tri lane is always a testament to the trust you have in your mid laner, and we did a good job laning, but J4 had a lot more liberty rotating to that mid lane. So that helped Ads a lot. Ads managed to recover from what could have been a really bad laning phase. He's doing well now, and he is the key to dealing with this type, is this poke and prod, this ability to not fully commit to the team fights. It also gives Chessy a lot more liberty to not have to do anything in the early game and just farm his Blink Dagger, which is what he wants to do as a DK.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that Blink Dagger, he's starting to close the gap on that now. Just a single Bracer, Solar Ring, and the Power Treads, of course, still going to leave our DK incredibly tanky, especially once he does decide to toggle on over. There he is, almost 1800 HP. Is a fair amount. Basically, if you want to kill him, you got to commit a Focus Fire, but then you're committing a Focus Fire for DK, which doesn't always feel amazing. It'll get the kill, though, as right now WEU with the Invis Rune trying to go hunting for some more venison, but looks like the Observer Ward, at least scouting Stomanen, is not going to allow WEU to make that jump.
Fake Gamer, maybe. Is there? Oh, okay, Rabbit's just cutting lanes. All right, see, this is what I was telling you though. Like Weaver's job is to cut lanes. He can annoy Bill to a degree, but I don't think Bill's gonna kill him or he's gonna kill Bill. The whole point here is just try to elongate the game as much as possible. You need to get the Luna's timing. That's the most important part. I do think still that once you get the Luna's timing, it's going to be difficult for ITV to deal with them, but for now they're doing a good job of managing to take control of the lanes, putting as much pressure as possible, taking advantage of DK. I think ITV's playing a good game.
Yeah.
The question though is what happens when Alliance gets online?
Agreed.
We're going to have to see.
Agreed. I mean, the early game has been a little bit, not been ideal for Alliance. It's been a little bit rough, even I would say. You know, according to their game plan, I think really Symmetrical not having the greatest amount of farm or freedom on the map is going to be their biggest downfall early, as J4 does get walrus punched here with the tag team. Doing plenty of damage to him. Wee trying to secure it with the power shot. Now TPing away as he's going to be forced to leave Stomanen behind. J4 will live.
Stomanen is tanking the gank though, so technically he's doing the role.
Well,
he's committing to just being a 5. Ideally, you don't die.
Yeah, it wasn't really a gank tank though, because they were going on the edge. But sure, he tanks the gank.
Yes, I'm trying. Look, I'm trying to give Stomanen a bit of slack here. It's not that big a deal if he dies. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Agreed.
So it's fine. You're supposed to die on the 5. It's whatever. You can consider that space, you know. Pilot die would be screaming, yeah, I did it, space. ITB should try to get bigger ganks, right? Like they try to get bigger objectives, but they still haven't gone through any other item timings. You're probably waiting for the Blink Dagger and DK.
And there it is.
There we go.
Delivered.
And immediate smoke, right?
Yeah, the older Dragon Form's running out, but they still might be able to find something top lane. The problem is Tide's not really that target, especially with his Ravage ready to pop. Tanner, his smoke will break. There is a ward on the high ground that's now going to be dispatched by J4.
I gotta say, why is Tanner?
But
Tanner the one scouting here, less HP than less HP than Ange, doesn't have untouchable, but he'll tank. He'll face gank.
They have not revealed this blink for Chessie. They did double smoke for ITB. Oh, they probably did because they did it underneath the ward. Never mind. So they probably knew that this blink dagger is coming and it's on the way.
Yeah.
That would likely explain why Nico Baby is so far back right now. Positioned extremely defensively. So good map read by him. Again, he's done well, by the way, this Nico Baby, to continue farming up a good amount. He's now got Dragonlance on top of the Mask of Madness, making his rush towards the BKB. And Stomanen will go for the D ward top lane. There's Chessie with the Blink Dagger reveal into the Bushwhack. That'll be Stomanen 100-0. But now, what do I2B lose in return?
Yeah, the DK in trouble. He is quite tanky. There's still the Ravage to commit, so definitely ITV. Oh, okay, they want a counter nation here. They see the opportunity. They go for Wii first, and the Ravage comes out finally. That's Chessie dead, but insane for Wii. Eclipse, however, cleans up ads as the BKB is used by Bill here, but Bill can't deal with the physical damage from the Luna. Bill alone versus 4. He's going to be pummeled to death, and ITV will lose 3 there. I was about to say in the middle of the fight, I don't think they want to commit because Ravage is up. They committed, and then that's what happens, you know?
You know, sometimes us casters, we use inflections and tones in our voice, and even maybe foreshadowing. So what are they going to lose, you know? And I love the buyback there from Stomanen, by the way.
What is this creep doing?
What creep?
What is this? Look at this sweep. Look at this scout. This heroic creep scouting Enchantress and Hoodwink. What a god, this creep.
Careful.
Sorry,
oh.
I want to point out, you know, sometimes we get to see creep wave, sometimes we get to see a hero. I think that meant a lot because that allowed him to take the tower with a lot more security, knowing that the Hoodwink and Enchantress were there. Sorry, go on with your point.
No, you're okay. You know what? You bought me time to cut this replay, and this was the problem, right? It was a pretty decent counter initiation, but Ember right now, he's not insanely strong. He does have this Maelstrom and does get a couple of procs off in the fight, but Monkey King basically just with BKB. He did have that Desolator queued up initially, so I was a little bit surprised to see the BKB active on him because as you can see, didn't really do all that much versus the Luna, especially when he was outside of the ultimate.
It's like, guys, I'm invulnerable to magic damage, but I don't deal any damage myself. You know, it's the idea of if you last indefinitely, but you have 0 impact, then it's still 0,
Smoke
right?
play.
It's 10 seconds of nothing.
To the triangle, but Nico Baby, once again, he sniffed this one coming. He knows there's blood in the water, and he is very much a shark. So he got out of the way of that one.
I'm glad that's never going away.
it's a good one.
What was it that Insania said as a response? I think he said you gotta be a squirrel or something like that. Because he's a 5, right? So you gotta avoid getting as much as possible.
Well, and then they went, Insania, no, you need to play Enchantress and jump into them.
You know, as Enchantress, you take the squirrel for yourself and you sacrifice.
That's right. Blink on Blink.
That was a good blink for Wii. Once again, the objective, but can they really fight this? There's no Ravage yet available. WEU's the first target. There goes Bill, and the magic damage is going to be enough to bring down WEU. The tide's still broken, and because Ravage is not available, hey, no, Alliance is going to lead their tide to die.
So my question for you is how long does Alliance kind of have this issue of we don't have Ravage equals we cannot fight? Because that's kind of been
perpetually.
Sorry?
I think perpetually.
Really? Perpetually? Okay.
I mean, I just think why, right? Like, why is Ravage is
Agreed.
Over time, as the game elongates and death timers are longer, it's much easier to... It's harder to play around Ravage. Because right now, Enchantress dies back in... I don't know.
You going for this play? No, certainly not, right? Yeah, and Chessie's going to force it back.
So right now, say like J4 takes a gank, right? And say the both supports die. They're back in 34 seconds, you know? Like, you can fight right after that, and then fight without the Ravage up. But in, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, all of a sudden that's like a 60-second timer. Ravage is halfway done by then. You know, it's much easier to avoid someone for that long. And I think that's when Alliance's game becomes much easier. Of course, there will be a point when Luna becomes so strong that it doesn't really matter they have Ravage, but that's only if they start to win.
They're going to try
and that's not really what's happening.
Maybe go for WEU here? It's a bit risky. Ravage is ready, of course, fighting into the Aegis. They try and chop down the tree of the Monkey King. As Fake Gamer's faking the ulti right now. There's going to be the break, the stun onto Sim, and the shards are not going to be able to save him. Fake Gamer did pop BKB, though, for that. That's his 8-second BKB, so not a complete waste, but this probably means ITB take this top tier 1 tower relatively uncontested. And by the way, I think I can tell you now who's the position for it, or at least if you look at these in very traditional roles, it's definitely Aramis. It's the Weaver. He's going for a Gleipnir. He's got Maelstrom, and he's got now Rod of Atos being delivered.
But doesn't it still speak true to what I was saying,
yes,
right? Because he can get the more dangerous farm, he's capable of getting these items, and he understands. Whereas Tusk is tanking ganks constantly, and he knows he's not going to build a single item this game. You know, if he finishes boots, he'll be happy.
And I'm not opposed to this new school of thought as Tanner is going to be killed off here relatively quickly. They're not going to hit him with a Walrus Punch. They don't need to. But that also does happen to just so, you know, line up with their positions 4 and 5 as well listed on Liquipedia. For example, I mean, I agree with this new school of thought, but, you know, I'm just...
No, I mean, you're right about that. It's just that they're not mutually exclusive,
of course,
right? The idea is that the position 4 and 5 is based on farm priority, right? And in many cases, you're not really choosing to give farm priority to one or the other. I think that's the case here. Where Stomanen, by the way, they're going to jump on him, and I think Stomanen once again will die, but that ITB is looking for bigger fish, or bigger walruses.
Yes. Nico Baby is becoming quite the big fish right now, that's for sure. He now is BKB finished, and I don't know if he did disassemble the Dragon Lance for the Ogre Axe. Either way, he's got another Ogre Axe now in his inventory, and he's going to be going into the Hurricane Pike here, fully upgrading that for a defensive spell, or a defensive bit of movement, which I think is the correct move versus a Monkey King. ADZ.
I do agree with that, especially because you can theoretically push him out of the circle, right? He got surprised by that ruse. I don't think they have enough damage there. Yeah. But yeah, I think. I mean, how often can you push him out of the circle? Probably not going to happen too often.
No,
as Monkey King can position himself.
Yeah, I think it's for Luna to get out of the circle, right?
Yeah.
And the Syrian Chains and get away from the Ench Creep or whatever.
Oh, I think it's a good item.
Yes,
don't get me wrong,
yes.
but I do. I mean, it could be that you push him out of the circle. I don't think it's entirely possible. Also, breaks trees, which later on, when nobody has a Quelling Blade, that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, we does that too, but you know, Force Staff's good for it. Nah,
that's very true.
Force Staff's good for it. You're right. We has been trying to get these plays off, by the way, and I really like that about him. Because he is going for these low-risk, high-reward plays. You know, I don't have Power Shot for my fight. Maybe, you know, if we don't happen to nuke someone by 300 damage, oh no, my bad, but it's a 9-second cooldown. And it's up to, what, a 4-second stun on the Monkey King if I catch him off guard? Like, that always feels worth it.
100%. And in general, the gameplay by Alliance has been low-risk, high-reward.
Very true.
I mean, to be honest, it's been kind of low-risk, medium reward. It's been a very lukewarm playstyle by them, which is fine, because, again, they're not hitting their timing yet.
Yep.
And if they do lose like 1 or 2 fights, all of a sudden you give ITP the chance to match your timing, and that's no good. So I do like what Alliance is doing. I think Nico Baby could be more farmed. He was playing a bit riskier, but I also think that it's proper that he's not doing that, right? Whenever he's farming, he always has his team in between where the enemy team is supposed to be or where they think it is, or he's just farming so close to tower that there's no way they can dive him, which is very good by Nico Baby. Masterclass by Nico Baby into how to farm safely.
Masterclass.
Yes.
As they will be breaking a smoke here. Tanner in trouble, but ADZ now with a 9-second BKB at the ready. He's going to stand in their way. Bill is going to get Walrus Punch here again. He has Aegis, has a 7-second BKB. BKB, and is going to lose his first Aegis, or his only Aegis. Ravage at the ready. It is going to catch him, and look at the damage here. All ready to go is Nico Baby. Blood in the water, and a double kill for him as ADZ is forced to back away. Again, nothing to interrupt the Ravage means that was basically free.
They cancel his TP with a shackle shot. Chessie's in trouble himself. They also even used the focus fire here with Maelstrom. Chessie, what are you going to do? Just a matter of time. Free fire, sure, but yeah, Chessie's been done. And Symmetrical's like, guys, you could have been the Sweden Alliance, but I took your spot. No, I took your life. I don't know. That team fight was just weird. It reminds me of when someone has a haste rune and they feel like they're invulnerable. Like, guys, I can't be killed. And then someone stuns you, go, that was the trick, right? And that was the same with the Aegis. I don't think in BKB off that Ravage, I honestly don't know. But I'm pretty sure if you Ravage like Symmetrical did, that is guaranteed stun.
Yep. Yeah, it looked like it. He definitely ripped that Ravage early. He didn't wait for the 0-second respawn time, as the replay finishes, another fight breaking out. WEU is forced to BKB. He doesn't want to die to any magic damage that ads can just throw down, but it seems like Aramis is not going to be as lucky. He does get off at least the time lapse, and is going to at least force him back the wrong way. Has a full Gleipnir up now, by the way, on the Weaver. Very, very fun item, because you can use it to find enemies through fog. And Nico Baby wants this tier 2 tower. He is completely alone.
Yes,
can they punish this?
So all the things you talk about the safe... Okay, it's fine. Right, he had an escape plan. See, even when we don't think that it's going to be safe farm, he knows it's safe farm. And that's good. And here we get the classic Tusk item immediately to the Blink Dagger. And that Blink Dagger, as we mentioned, with Kuro's playstyle on the Tusk 5. The whole goal of this game is occasionally probably to the focus fire trick with tag team, but mostly just going to be a snowball save for whenever you get initiated on. Particularly useful because ITB is very single target oriented, so someone gets Dragon Tailed or Searing Chained, you snowball them back ideally, and that's just the best save you can ask.
Very good patience by Alliance. I don't know if they scouted this smoke. I wasn't able to catch that or not, but they know that, well, there's blood in the water now for ITB. BKB on cooldown, Ravage not yet ready for another 20 seconds, so Alliance pretty weak actually for these next, little bits of cooldown. ITB do well to immediately look for a fight, but Alliance is not going to give them anything. They hide behind the tier 2. Right play. And now with their cooldowns at the ready, they can go for more as they find J4.
Yeah, I don't know how much they want to commit to this. Apparently,
a lot is the answer.
They just know that they're not there. So with this, they just get a free kill on J4. And Cheddar's not the most relevant kill, but if they can get Chessie, that would be great. He does have the fireball on. He wants to fight inside his flames. But once the cores come in, they're not going to be so scared of this fire as Chessie is stuck, shackle shot, and killed. Alliance will get you another kill. It's getting out of hand for ITB.
It is. They're starting to lose grip on this one a little bit, especially as now we're firmly in Alliance's timing, I would say, with this BKB active for Nico Baby. We could see he's not really scared of anything, and now has the full SNY as well as the completed Hurricane Pike along the way. Which is really good. I mean, like you were mentioning, with Stomanen now picking up the Blink Dagger, it is very much a save item. So now Nico Baby kind of has a save he can rely on himself with the BKB, the 4-staff Hurricane Pike, as well as a Walrus. And that's some pretty good backup, I would say.
Did a good job for now, Alliance. I'm actually really impressed with this patience. I think that's always one of the best assets, I would say, from Alliance, traditionally. So it's not surprising they can play the style really well, but they've completely punished ITB's draft by doing this. And now ITB needs to do a bit of a Hail Mary play. Now it's time for ITB to go for like high-risk, low-reward plays, because you just need to get something out of this map. And you don't really have too many plays to do either. Some pickoffs here and there if you can catch a support, which is okay. Weaver maybe, because now Weaver's kind of a core, honestly. He has more farm than Symmetrical.
It's just a bit difficult though, isn't it, right? Because you're a little bit more geared towards, not quite pickoff, right? You don't have like an LC, Lina, or whatever kind of lineup, but you do want to go for these kind of slower kind of fights until you find a bit of an opening and then commit. But the way Alliance are going to be playing this, especially now with their cooldowns ready to go, such as Ravage and BKB on Luna, they're not going to really give you an opportunity to do that. What do we have on Sim? Yeah, I mean, he's basically just got the essentials, right? Put a Defiance, Blink Dagger. Yeah, and then into Ags.
Yeah, I love the Ags that he's going for now, because this is going to help you cut lanes even further. So if the enemy team ever gets a good fight on you, right, assuming Tide either has buyback or survives, you can make sure that you delay it even further, right? The idea is just make sure that you get to your timings. ITB does have a chance, though, if Ember decides to become like a secondary core. He helps out Monkey King. All of a sudden, you have 2 versus 1. If you're capable of getting like a good initiation off with DK and kill WEU early, it's not impossible for them, but the team fights are considerably harder. Of course, the other option they would have, which would be ideal, I don't know if it's possible, is killing off Tide early using that sharpshooter, right? Making sure that you break his passive, then immediately burst him down. It's not impossible. It's true, but it is very difficult.
I mean, they've done it before. They've caught him a couple of times already. Yes. He's significantly tankier, right? But of course, cannot rely on his passives. Sharpshooter does break to really sustain him through that, especially now with an MKB online for the Monkey King alongside the BKB. He might be able to. They might be able to crack his Kraken shell, so to speak. As Nico Baby is going to be. Well, just caught for a second, but immediately back to hitting towers. He's going to go at it. He's not even going to... He's like, you can do that again. I don't mind. Okay, now he's going to back away. So let's say, at least move away from the tree, but eventually is going to get back. Chessie closing in on his own BKB. I don't think that's going to be really the big difference maker item. I think that the next big ticket here for ITB is going to be Eye of Scotty for Bill, but that is pretty far away at this stage of the game. So they will smoke up now and look for a fight, but Alliance at the ready and in a good position here, also searching for a fight.
Low to high ground, they've been discovered by the scan as well. ITB, the Tide is also leading as well. Symmetrical's positioning is great. Either he tanks the smoke or he initiates straight up. She's up. Weaver on top of that. Gleipnir, they go for J4. But J4 is not enough. You don't want to fully commit to this. You just want to poke and prod. There we go. Monkey King trying to go for Nico Baby. But he has the Hurricane Pike. That's going to save him with a shackle shot. However, Fake Gamer
still going to kill him.
Doesn't matter. That Wukong's command did not matter whatsoever. As is forced to use his BKB. Beautiful bushwhack. As now dealing a fair amount of burst damage. And he killed the 2 supports, but they catch up to Chessie. There's the shackle shot, and Chessie will be the next one to go down here for ITB.
And he may be the last in this occasion. Samanen did buy back. WEU chasing for more as they force half him into the blink, but Tanner with a blink of his own at least is going to be able to evade that. In fact, looking turn has caught WEU, but Ads doesn't have any remnants, so he's just limited to whatever damage he can do. But the Flame Guard is doing a bit of work now as WEU begins to just wind run away. Nico Baby now coming in for round number 2 as they have bought back on the Monkey King. Nico Baby does not have BKB either, nor the Eclipse, so he's going to have to turn and fight Fake Gamer with the BKB active. Now trapped by the Ice Shards of Stomanen, forcing Bill to back up. He's going to beat back the Walrus. That's a dieback for him, but Aramis doing damage and actually almost 1v1ing Fake Gamer as Bill will still succeed. WEU now turning around, finds the shackle onto 2, will secure the kill as it was Ads that ran down Sim. WEU just TPs away right into the face of J4 before Chessie could actually blink on over. And a big fight, a little bit messy all over the place, but I think Alliance still come out on top of this one.
I mean, towards the end, I think ITV got some really valuable kills, and because of their position, I think it's more important that they got these kills. Nico maybe still in trouble, potentially. Yes, BKB TP, though, so
Blinken 7.
I think he should die
or Blinken 4, rather, on the DK with the stun. Ads is chasing.
Is he going to be greedy? Is he going to be greedy? Nico, he's like, okay, I'm out of trees. There we go, BKB TP. He was trying to be greedy, but I think that was the right play.
And I think he can at least be happy he got the BKB out from Ember Spirit as well. That might make a difference. I mean, they ravaged so early on in the fight that by the time that Tidehunter respawns, it's going to be back in just about 20 seconds. A little bit more, maybe like 25. But a long fight nonetheless.
Yep. Well, again, I think ITB getting these scraps, it's good, especially because Ads is scaling a little bit with this, right? And we already saw how much damage Ads can do in the teamfight with a nice bushwhack, right? That's honestly your biggest teamfight spell when it comes to area damage. And Ads can abuse that pretty nicely. He's going to go for the axe next. They're going to go now for the Tusk. Once again, tanking a small gank. Nico Baby. Oh, there's the shard actually.
4-man Kush.
Be a nuisance. They go for Enchanters first, and there goes Nico Baby onto the high ground.
Wow.
Ads immediately bursted.
And Chessie tried to TP away. Gleipnir is going to find him, root him down, and Chessie is going to be picked off last, slowly but surely, as Nico Baby will hit him with one last loosened beam to seal the deal. Oof. Speaking of seals, they only ended up losing theirs for 3 and likely Roche, if not just the game.
So offensive to the Tusker, clearly not. Clearly wrong marine animal, you speciest. But Alliance will be taking the Roche as a result. Now we're starting to see the Luna kind of come into her own. She's already 8k above the Monkey King. It's really difficult for him to match her at all in these team fights. And that's when the point that you were making earlier about the Tide Ravage, when it's to stop mattering. Honestly, around this time, when Luna can kind of solo your team earlier, and with the Aegis plus the Shard, I think we might be getting to that point where one fight means Rex.
Yeah.
One lost fight, mind you.
And just ITB, again, looking for anything they can get while they still feel like they have got an in this game. Using that ward to kind of just jump in and at least blow up the Tusk. But again, Ember Spirit, that's why I brought it up. Without BKB, as he BKBs, Nico Baby BKBs, is just going to be minced meat there to one shackle shot into the Eclipse. Good job by Nico Baby holding on to that one until he really needed it. Now he's up to level 25. He's got an Aegis, he's got the Shard, has a full Satanic. Yeah, I think this Lunas can basically 1v5 your team. What's going on over here, though? We canceling a TP.
Nice job, dude. To kill Tanner. And Wee is still fighting against two. I mean, he's just creating a lot
no
of
detection
space here as they take the rack stop.
He's just casually invis.
Yeah. Are they stuck here, by the way? Are Ads and Fake Gamer forced to commit as they lose the rack? This is not very good. They lost J4 as a result as well. Oh, no. Oh, no! And now Ads can finally come back. Here's Bill as well, but Nico no longer cares about them. They've killed the initiation you had on the Hoodwink. You still have the DK stun. That's an option. Gosh, trying to scout the monkey. I think he missed the right tree.
Satanic full HP. I don't care if I'm rooted. I'll go ahead and also hit buildings while I lifesteal. Don't mind me. Oh, hello, monkey. I found him.
BKB used. They just stun Nico Baby. He has a second life build and a
force
light, so even his first one's not going to be taken down.
Just force that. Not even BKB. Didn't even have Satanic. Doesn't care.
That Wukong's command, unfortunately, not successful. And now,
No.
how do you defend this?
They just can't hold anyone in there. Monkey King, I mean, it feels like the monkey's kind of being kited around, which is something, you know, you find yourself saying a little bit more than often, considering the amount of mobility Monkey has compared to other cores, but...
Nico's done. He just wants to end this game. Nice Gleipnir, and they use that Gust as well. Chessie activates his BKB. He's low on armor though. Takes forward the target. There's the Ravage as well to bring down Bill and Chessie on top of the extra J4 kill. Nico Baby continues to go for the objectives.
No.
Shackle shot hits Ads. Ads is capable of making it back home, but the tier 4s are done. An Ancient is exposed, and the GG is called.
Alliance, they take game number 1. New Alliance takes game number 1 over ITB in their opening series for the lower division. Well played to them.